Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. What's going on, everybody? Back by popular demand. This is the Dukes of Gaming podcast. Hope everybody had a great week this week as we come back for a new year of talking about video games. I am, of course, your host, the Duke of Procrastination. I have an update to that. This is Thomas. How's everybody doing this week? And of course, I have my fellow Dukes of Gaming with me. What's going on? We have the Duke of Nostalgia to my left. How are you doing, Taylor?
Doing great. Had a great New Year's. Great week. It's been good. It's been a little warm, but yeah. What can we do? What can OPEC do?
What can we do? What can we do? We have to my bottom left-hand corner, we have the Duke of Design. How are you, Ben?
Very good. Getting sick of the snow here in the Pacific Northwest, but
we're so polar jealous. Opposite.
Yeah, right. Still enjoying it as much as I can.
And what can OPEC do?
Yeah, nothing at all.
And we, of course, have the Duke of Education teaching his students worldwide. How are you doing, Alfredo?
I'm doing great. I can't complain. Yeah, just playing really hard games. Being upset that I'm losing my save file progress, but you know, nothing new. I'm sure we'll talk about it.
Yeah, I can relate.
Yep.
And of course, we have the Duke of Rocket League, Cole. How are you? I actually have a question for you about Rocket League.
All right, shoot. I'm doing good.
So, I didn't realize that there are more ranks than champion. So there's a champion 1, a champion 2, like a supersonic something.
Don't get him started.
Now that so now that kind of like hurts my feelings because in your eye I was like the top rank, but I'm not.
You fraud.
Oh no.
You had us all going.
I did have y'all going.
Hack fraud.
Champion. So in Rocket League, I'd say champion rank is like something. That's an accomplishment. Like that is like, you know, if you tell someone you're champion, they're like, dang. Like if you meet somebody and you're like, you play Rocket League? Yeah, what's your rank? Champion? Oh, dude, that's awesome. But there is, after champion, you get to grand champion. When you get to grand champion, so champion has 3 levels. You get to grand champion, you get a tag under your name that says season like 15 grand champion, which like the skill level between champion and grand champion, it's almost like you almost have to be like a streamer or like a professional player. And then there's supersonic, which is a handful of players.
So you are a fraud, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I am a champion. So we'll just leave it at that.
Whatever that means.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you're a champion in our eyes. How about that?
Oh, thanks. It really is, though. It really is like, it's just not like the top. Like, it's the top, probably like less than 1%. And then there's like the little sliver that's the grand champions in supersonic.
Gotcha. One day, Cole.
Well, it's always good to get a Rocket League lesson. Always good. So this week, we are going to kind of go over some of the games that are going to be coming out in 2022, since we're in a new year. But first, as always, what have we been playing this week? I guess I'll go first since mine's pretty quick. I have been grinding in Shin Megami Tensei 5. Just been trying to get through this game. Last week, I really regret not putting it in my game of the year. I really do. I just felt like I couldn't put it because I hadn't played enough of it.
Could have been our game of the year. See what you did.
It's possible. I still don't think it would have been my personal game of the year, but it definitely probably would have made the top 5. Especially, I'm getting to some good parts now. I'm about level 50. So which is crazy. I'm level 50 and I feel like I'm like halfway through the game. So,
I don't even know where I am. I'm level 40.
What level are you? I can tell you.
I'm level 40. I thought I was like getting close to the end, but it doesn't sound like
No. Oh, like my friend has it and I saw he was like level 90-ish and he's like, yeah, I'm close. And I was like, 90. Jesus. The one thing I like about the game though, you level up pretty quickly. So, yeah, but I've been playing that.
Great game.
Great game. It really does capture that feeling of, you know, you are actually like struggling. You know, that I don't think a lot of RPGs have given me that in recent memory. I pretty much breezed through RPGs. I love Dragon Quest, but I died maybe like 10 times in Dragon Quest. You know, so it's like this one, it's actually, if you don't go into a battle prepared, you're gonna die. And so I kind of appreciate
it's not only the bosses either. Like the bosses are real hard, but some of these random encounters Oh, you just
You
never
get the
know when you can
'cause
die.
the one thing I like about the game, I love this innovation that we've had in our RPGs where we can see the monsters that we can get into battles with, as opposed to just the random encounters. I love that innovation. It makes it hard to go back to some of those old RPGs because of that.
Yeah.
But in this game, that's weird is the monsters will fly into you. So it's almost like a little mini game trying to avoid them.
Swerve out of the way.
Yeah. You look super silly doing it, but I love it. It adds more gameplay to it. The game also has like a weird like platforming aspect. What do you think about that aspect to it?
I like it. I like the platforming aspect. I like how it's very open-ish world, basically how the game sets itself up, and you are essentially Naruto running everywhere and swerving to avoid monsters and doing these little side quests. And I do like the open nature of it and the mini platforming. I do wish they amped up the platforming a little bit more, because as the game is, you're basically just, oh, you can climb on this specific surface to get like up a level basically, but it's not like you're Mario hopping to platform to at the end, oh, get a treasure box. Like it's not like that, and I kind of wish it kind of was like that, but I'll take what I can get.
I wish they put a little like Persona 5 Royal, they give you the grapple hook. I wish you had something like that in this.
That'd be cool.
I think this game could have benefited from that. I just love this game just because I've been watching this anime called Jujutsu Kaisen, and there's this one character in there who pretty much has the same moveset that the main character in this has. And I'm like, I love the aesthetic of this game. I love just the characters in this game, and I look forward to beating it hopefully within the next week. But yeah, playing that and playing Halo is normal.
To be expected.
Oh yeah, that's going to be all year. I don't anticipate that leaving the rotation. How about we go to Taylor?
Okay. I've been playing Magic the Gathering Arena again, which is Magic the Gathering's online card game simulator nonsense. One of them, there's two Magic the Gathering onlines. There's Magic the Gathering Online, and there's Magic the Gathering Arena. They're different. Magic the Gathering Arena, it's confusing, but okay. you buy a pack of cards in real life, and there's like a 50-50 shot it'll give you like a code to like, oh hey, you should go check out Arena or online, because they want to support both.
So what's the difference exactly?
The cards you can play with. Magic the Gathering Arena is specifically from around 2012 onward. You can play with cards from about 2012 onward, based on what they choose you can play with. They supplement the market of cards with certain cards from 2012 forward. The format's called Historic. And then the Magic the Gathering Online is for more hardcore players who want to play with cards from all the way back to 1994 or, further. Old, super overpowered cards. There's a bunch of formats you can play there. It's arguably the better way to play. It's just a little too expensive for me, because you do have to pay for the cards. And my perspective is you shouldn't have a real life card game that you have to pay money for online to play as well.
Question.
You should yeah.
Is there a way to scan your real life cards in the game?
Nope. You can.
That would be awesome.
It really
that would be so fun.
They have certain decks. Certain decks you can buy, pre-built decks you can buy in real life that you can scan into the game, basically. But those are far and few in between. Ultimately, sometimes packs come with you can redeem this for one pack in Arena. And that's nice. That's all fun and dandy. But what I do want to talk about real quick is the economy on Magic the Gathering Arena, because they introduced a new set to Arena called Alchemy, which is purely digital cards. All the mechanics that work on these cards could only work digitally. Something like randomly selecting a card from your deck, or choosing a card type at random. No one knows what it is until it happens. Stuff like that. I can understand from a designer's or developer's perspective going, well, we have this online format. We can mess around with mechanics that are already in existence and make them more random and more unique to play. But at the same time, to me, it's ruined the game. I don't want to play against these weird cards that I will never touch in real life. They're completely segregated to these online games, and it's just, they seem a little broken. They're not balanced at all compared to the rest of Magic the Gathering stock. So A, it takes out some of the fun there, and B, because of the economy, you have to buy into them, and there's no way to redeem cards well in Arena. There really isn't. You have to buy packs to redeem cards. Each pack comes with 1, 2, or 3 redeemable cards that you can turn into any card. Sometimes, not all the time, sometimes. And then every 6 packs, you guarantee get 1. So it's so much money you have to pour into this game in order to make it even remotely playable, because these alchemy cards, along with the slew of very powerful cards they've introduced already, are too powerful. If someone already has a full playset and has a really good deck, you really don't have a chance being like some guy who just wants to play for fun. There's one bot in the game, and it's not very fun to play against.
So
it's
what
just
you're
not fun.
saying is you would not recommend that I start playing this game?
Never. When it came out, yes, because when it came out, it was free to win. Yeah, it was play to win. You could earn your way through the game when it came out, because there were so few sets. If they had just kept it like the sets rotate, but some of them don't. It's confusing. The set that rotates is the one I would recommend to most people starting the game, because in Arena you can play to win in those situations. Slowly but surely gather your cards. Not anymore. Those formats are stagnant and dead because Wizards has decided to focus on these digital only ones for Arena, and it's not healthy, it's not fun, and they don't fix any of the bugs in the game. The timer still doesn't work very well, because people can just, like, if people get butthurt that you're winning, they can just stall for ad infinitum, and you can't leave the game unless you want to de-level.
Oh, that sucks.
And see, that's the problem with any game where it's like 1v1. That's because I experienced the same thing in something like FIFA, where if I'm whooping somebody like 4-0, they're just holding the ball, just like I'm just like, come on, man, just quit. Come on,
we do
like,
that. People do that in Rocket League too.
Yeah, and Dead by
it's like,
Daylight.
come on. I hate players like that, but yeah, that's more.
Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah, it's the worst.
I will say one positive thing though. What I do want to do in Arena more, and one thing I do like about Arena, and it's a 50-50 a little bit in my brain, is there's a format in Magic called drafting, and it's a lot of fun, where you get 3 packs of cards and open them and pass them around the table, and everyone picks one card out and builds a deck around the cards they pick out. Really random, really fun, really unique deck building ideas can come from that. I don't like Magic the Gathering players. I'm sorry. A lot of Magic the Gathering players who go to like these Friday night events are smelly. They smell so bad.
You can't have it all, Clams.
No, you can't. My ex-boyfriend back in high school introduced me to Magic, and he was like an Adonis. He was chiseled, he was handsome, and he smelled really good. So when I went to Magic the Gathering tournaments with him when he was teaching me how to play, I would stay around him because there was this bubble of fresh air. And if you walked too far away from him, you just get hit with this.
He was a
horrible
living air freshener.
He was a living air freshener. And no, I'm not even kidding. You hear the jokes about the Smash players. It is equally true for Magic the Gathering players. They smell bad.
You just gotta bring a can of Febreze.
No, I can't recommend this to anyone. I'm gonna play the drafting because I don't like doing it in real life, but I'm gonna play with my friends in real life rather than play against people online, because it's not fun anymore. It's too expensive, and I don't want to do it.
Oh, man. Anything else in regards to Magic?
Nah, fuck it.
Take a shower, y'all, if y'all haven't.
Take a goddamn shower.
Ben, have you been playing Magic?
Thank God, no. I have been very productive over the past week, though. I finished It Takes Two last night with my wife. the final game of 2021 as we beat it on New Year's Eve.
Nice.
I also finished Doki
That's
Doki
nice.
Literature Club Plus. I can't believe I missed this game in 2017. I was in
I
college.
felt the same way. Yeah.
Yeah, I was in college and people were talking about it like it was the second coming of Christ. And I was like, okay, I'm sure this game is good. In my game dev circle, I was like, I'm sure this game is good, but I don't have the time for it right now between all my fucking schoolwork. So I just put it off. I'm glad I finally played it. Very interesting and cool game.
More than meets the eye, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Surprising. What else did I play? I'm on the last level of Returnal, and God, this game is so hard.
You're so close.
It's so frustrating. I'm so close. I will beat it. The game that I beat this past week that I want to talk a little bit more about is Paradise Killer. I played on the Switch. This is a open world detective murder mystery game where you're
Visual novel-esque.
visual novel-esque, but the fact that you can walk around this open world and there's collectibles and all this kind of stuff, I classify it as an open world game before a visual novel. There's very little gameplay, which I think puts it more in the visual novel kind of camp. The gameplay is wandering around, making your way around this island and finding new locations, discovering characters, speaking to those characters. You're going to go to different places, pick up clues, talk to the people on the island about those clues, unravel the mystery. One thing that I really love about this game, that's so interesting to me about this game, is it seemed, at least, at any time you could talk to the judge and start the trial with whatever evidence you have. You decide when the game ends from the very beginning of the game, pretty much. That's awesome. Which means awesome. you determine your level of success based on how much you want to invest in the game. Really interesting, because of course, if you were really investigating a murder mystery, when you choose to stop determines how prepared you are. So yeah, I really enjoyed this game. The characters are all very interesting. There's this cool vaporwave aesthetic that's running through the whole thing.
Great soundtrack.
Yes.
Yeah, great soundtrack, fun colors, lots of hot pink.
Great characters.
Yeah, very silly, like flamboyant, interesting characters. I got a lot of Danganronpa vibes, which is why I picked up the game to begin with. I think there's a good bit of Danganronpa running through it, though not quite enough. I think this was a criticism that you had, Alfredo, but I totally agree. If it was a criticism that you have, that I was expecting the trial at the end to be a little bit more like a big blowout class trial from Danganronpa. There's a lot more gameplay in any one given class trial than there was in the concluding trial of Paradise Killer. It was present your evidence. If you have enough evidence, you convince the judge. And if you picked the right person to accuse, then they give you even more evidence to accuse the next person, basically. So it's just dialogue selections, pretty much. And you're hopefully you have a organized enough idea of how this crime was committed and what the conspiracies were and who the players were and where they were when, that you are picking the correct people for all of these crimes. But that whole trial ending experience was kind of a deflation for me after a very fun and interesting and I think unique experience of this open world, go at your own pace, you decide when it's done, detective story. However, I highly recommend it. It's a very easy Switch game to play in the background while you're doing other things. You're watching a TV show or something else. Run through the island, pick up pieces of evidence, talk to people. My only other major complaint about the game is that the game will highlight characters that you can ask questions to. So most of the time when you come across a new piece of information, it'll like highlight the relevant characters that you can ask about these things. Sometimes the things you can ask them are nonsense. Like you shouldn't even be able to ask them because they give you one sentence answers that are like, I can't answer that. So running across the entire map in order to ask somebody something about about something you think they should be able to give you more information about, and then getting a one-sentence answer is frustrating, especially when fast traveling is gated in a way by collectible currency that you have to seek out.
I agree.
Agreed.
So that's a gripe. But aside from that, I mean, I think it's a fantastic game. And it's a very unique game. I'm going to be looking for other things that are similar in style or execution. I've heard that the Forgotten City, Alfredo, that's another one you recommended to me.
That's on my list too.
Has something of a similar construction to it.
Very.
So I'll be playing that early this year.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm actually really, really glad that I played Paradise Killer first and then the Forgotten City, because I feel like I wouldn't have liked Paradise Killer as much as I did if I had experienced what the Forgotten City had to offer. That said, both of them definitely have different strengths and different cons, but overall, Forgotten City is a better product. But just as far as Paradise Killer goes, it's a really great first outing. And what's interesting in terms of like a comparison to Danganronpa specifically is that with Danganronpa, they take the approach of you're gathering this evidence, you're gathering these clues that you don't really know how it connects to everything. And then when you get to the trial is when you're connecting the pieces and you're having these jaw-dropping moments of, oh my God, like this is what's happening. And you're really connecting the dots there. And with Paradise Killer, it shines in you doing the exploration and the evidence seeking on that end and making the connections on the front end.
Yeah. And doing it yourself.
Yeah. And doing it yourself. But at the same time, when it comes down to this epic conclusion that you would hopefully have, it kind of falls flat because you already more or less figured it out. And there's no extra climactic moment that you're saying, oh, I didn't know that. Like you kind of have figured everything out already. So very different games, but I'm definitely excited for hopefully they make another one and learn from what they have done in the
the studio is called Kaizen Gameworks, is that right? Off the top of my head, I feel like they had a deal with they were going to do a licensed game next. I'll look that up while someone else talks about their game.
And just
Paradise Killer, very good.
Yeah, Paradise. I loved it. I think that criticism of the trial is. I never thought of that, but yeah, Danganronpa. When you get to those trials, it goes straight anime, and the energy is so high.
And you are shocked at a lot of things.
Yeah, it's legit. Like you're sitting there, you're participating, of course, but you're watching it in awe. Paradise Killer was kind of just like, you get to the end and it's the end. So that's one criticism I have, but still, very solid game. Yeah. So anything else, or you that's pretty much wraps up your cornucopia of games?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep the productivity alive. I'm gonna try to knock out Returnal and then move on to the original Halo, so that I'm not a Bungie poser anymore.
Which one you starting with? Halo 1?
Yeah. Right. Combat Evolved. I'm playing on the Master Chief Collection on PC because I got a 3-month Xbox Game Pass for $1. Good deal.
Nice.
Great deal.
Can we all agree who've played the Halo games before? Can we all agree Halo 2 is the best?
I would say that. But I've only played 1 and 2.
In a vacuum, yes. Like in just gameplay, no. Infinite's the best. From just
okay. I haven't played it yet. So.
But in terms of impact, in terms of fun,
at the time of release,
yes, at the time of release, absolutely,
yeah.
Even 100%. Though Halo 3 has a very good, solid case as well.
I think
Halo 2 was the height. That was the height. Halo never got more popular than when Halo 2 released.
Halo 2 solidified it as one of gaming's crowning franchises for sure. Halo 3 was just a great game.
Well, all I can say is, Ben, when you get around to Halo 2, I hope you, as someone who works in the game industry, takes away some great lessons, because that is, I think, one of my favorite games of all time.
One of the best co-op experiences ever.
Excellent.
Ben, if you want to co-op, let me know. Because let
me know too.
Definitely.
Let me know too. Between all of us, you could find one of us will be available.
Sweet. Yeah, I'd love to get through at least the first 3 Halos before my 3-month Game Pass subscription.
They're really short. Lapses. They're not long games at all. So that's definitely realistic.
Nice. Real quick on Kaizen Gameworks. So what I had read was that they are working with Akumi Nakamura, who was the former game director of Ghostwire Tokyo, who got a lot of popularity from her appearance on stage at E3 or whatever it was when Ghostwire Tokyo was first announced. So they're working on something with her.
That's awesome.
That's the Evil Within, right? The same developer.
Yes. I think so, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But Akumi Nakamura was specifically the game director on Ghostwire Tokyo.
Got you.
Not on Evil Within.
For all the drama happened.
Makes sense. Cool. We're looking forward to your update on Halo. Definitely looking forward to that. Alfredo, what have you been playing this week?
I'm gonna keep it short this week, but I've been hearing a lot about this supposed stealth game of 2022 that I should get around to, called Hitman, but Hitman 3 specifically. But I wanted to start out the first one. So what I did was, apparently PlayStation Plus a long time ago gave Hitman 1 and 2 for free. So I bought Hitman 3 because it was on sale. So and then basically imported the Hitman 1 and 2 levels within it. So I can play all the improvements that are in Hitman 3 on the first one. So I've been playing Hitman 1, a lot of it actually. I think I'm about halfway through. I think I just completed the 4th mission out of 6, I think, for the first one. Don't quote me. And I'm enjoying it. I am enjoying it. But what I guess I'm a little bit disappointed in is how little story I guess there is in the first Hitman specifically. Now, this is the Hitman 2016 one, so I don't know like how they improve upon it in the next iterations. So there's basically you're sent to your targets, you get a debriefing on what mission you're going on to, and you go on the missions. And then after you actually complete the mission, they give you this little cut scene with this man who I really still have, after 4 missions, I have no idea who this man is. Honestly, I still don't know what's going on with the overarching story. So honestly, I'm just enjoying killing all these people in interesting ways.
Hey.
So I wish there was a bit of a story, but I'm not disappointed in the actual gameplay of Hitman. It's very fun. Love it. The only other thing I can think of is I think it's definitely an interesting take for Hitman to basically say, hey, here are different challenges that basically tell you like all the different ways that you can kill somebody, your targets, or take out. They basically give you these hints by saying, hey, take them out by drowning, take them out by doing this. Or they might even say more specifically, take this person out in the elevator shaft by doing this. Like some of them will give you more detailed instructions. So I think it's an interesting approach. Like it kind of holds your hand to take out your targets and tell you basically how to play the game. But at the same time, there is a harder mode, which I believe doesn't do that, which doesn't basically guide you to a waypoint of, okay, call this, go to this payphone, call this person, then go to this location. Like there's a mode that does not do it. So I definitely want to try that out. I just haven't yet because I'm enjoying killing all the people with all of these different variety of ways. So
forgive me if I'm wrong, but Hitman 3, I think does a good job of balancing both like here's what you can do, but here's a bunch of other things you can also do.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a little bit more of that because I also feel like in one of them, out of all of the 4 missions that I played, it's basically take out your 2 targets, and then leave. But one of them was like, okay, take out your 2 targets, but also we need you to destroy this thing. So it's more of a spy kind of feel as opposed to just being an assassination or a hitman kind of game, which I think was a lot more fun, honestly, to infiltrate this place, figure out how to infiltrate somewhere, get the additional objective done, like you're some sort of spy, and then get out. I really, really enjoyed doing that, and I hope they do more of that in the future games and in future levels. But I think I'm just way too early in Hitman 1 to be able to tell whether or not they'll be able to build on that recipe.
There are optional objectives similar to that in other missions. I can tell you that for sure.
Okay, awesome.
But I will say that what I often recommend for people who are picking up Hitman for the first time is to like the real joy and meat of Hitman is in repeating the levels until you gain a level of mastery over them, so that you can set up your own creative assassinations and do things without any hand holding, right? So there's kind of an order of operations that I would recommend, which is like start on a single level. Like you're 4 levels into this point, so you've seen a number of them, and you probably have a preference of one over another. Maybe the one you're referring to is Sapienza, the one that had the optional 3rd objective. It's one of the best levels in all 3 of the games. It's fantastic. It's got tons of different variety. The level's so open. There's so many cool locations in there: the church and the tower, and the secret lab, and all that cool stuff. So, like, what I typically recommend is go through all of the story missions, like the kind of pre-rolled. Here's how you do some interesting assassinations. That's where most of the narrative is, per se. But I will say this to your point about the story. The main storyline of the Hitman games, not particularly interesting. The 3rd one gets interesting toward the end, but I think most of the fun story in these games is stuff you discover inside of the levels themselves. So don't think about it in terms of like what's the overarching story of Hitman, but think about it in like what's the story of Sapienza.
Right.
There's lots of interesting stuff in Sapienza.
Yeah, the NPCs definitely do a great job at telling the story of, oh, this is happening. Did you hear about this? And then you kind of like stop to the side and be like, oh, wait, what's happening? I think they do a great job at having it be a really great open level design, because these levels are pretty huge, honestly, way bigger than I thought they would. And they do a good job at having so many different opportunities for you to explore, basically. So I'm enjoying it overall, and I'm looking forward to continuing the different games.
Yeah, definitely. And I would say, like, once you if you play Sapienza a couple more times, you clear out all the story missions, and then you're like, okay, I have a pretty strong grasp of this level and what's available to me. I would then recommend try to do Silent Assassin. Try not to get spotted at all. And if you've already done that at that point, which you might have, do Silent Assassin suit only, so you can't do any disguises. Try to make that work,
tough.
right? Yeah, exactly. So like you see like where the layers come in, where it's like, okay, so I need to know much more about this level than I do currently in order to make something like that work.
I need to go trophy hunting, is what it sounds like.
So I have a fundamental question about Hitman. You said the Silent Assassin. So can you pull off stuff kind of like a Splinter Cell? Like, can you like scale walls? Can you go through ducts? Like, or is it only like just classic stealth?
From what I experienced, it's more classic stealth, but I'm only in the first Hitman game, so maybe that changes. You can definitely climb up pipes and stuff like that, but for now, it's you taking the roles and the disguises of other people, passing yourself off as, hotel staff or whatever, so that you can gain
social
access
disguise,
into different rooms. Yeah, it's more of that rather than a spy game.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But
apparently, I will say, I mean, like I was getting at before, you can beat every single one of these levels without changing your costume.
Yeah.
So that when you play the game that way, it's much more akin to a traditional stealth game. But I wouldn't recommend trying to play that game the way that game that way before you have a good grasp of the map that you're going for the Silent Assassin suit only on. But like, I consider Silent Assassin suit only. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, but at the same time, some of the beauty about this game is the variability, and you can. The way I like to play it personally, and I don't disagree with Ben's statement at all that this game should be played like multiple times over and over until you get like a real good feel for it. But the way I like to play it, and that's a perfectly reasonable way to play it, is to just go in, James Bond, balls to the wall, just all caution to the wind. And just try and just kind of scrap your way around. But
I do want to try that one time though. Normally I just go stealth all the way, but it'd be interesting seeing how the game definitely handles a more chaotic stealth approach.
Well, excellent. Cole, have you been playing anything this week?
Yep. I've been playing a lot of VR. My last the last 2 months, or like probably the last quarter of 2021, I've been very heavy in VR. Which that's kind of the phase, you go through phases where you pick it up and I go through phases with VR since 2019 or 20, whenever the PSVR came out, where I'll play for a little while, a few months, and then I'll put it down, and then I'll come back to it and I get hyped again. So the new game I've been playing is Walkabout Mini Golf. I don't like golf at all. This is a putt game, and it's done. All the fundamentals are done so well in VR that it's incredible. Like, the ball physics are perfect. The way you putt the club, the ball comes off the club the exact way it would if you were playing at a tourist, at the beach. You're playing putt-putt at the beach or something, It's unbelievable. And also, it's kind of got the same thing that Alt Space does, with like that sense of presence and like hanging out and talking to somebody. So it's basically like Alt Space in VR. And the graphics are perfect. The audio design's incredible. Like, you'll go through caves and audio sounds different. It's one of the best VR games I've played. And it's just because it does everything so well. And when a developer can do everything really well in VR, it's generally a standout game, because there's so little games that deliver on everything in VR, Like, so we played, my brother, I was playing with him. I played with my brother and my dad. We played like 2 hours one night. It was awesome. But he got all into it, and he wanted to try Golf Plus, which is a Top Golf Plus game. And the reviews on the headset said they were good. Anyway, I downloaded it, and it's just, the frame rate's not very good. They go for realistic graphics, so they put the realistic like mountains in the background, and it's blurry. It doesn't look good. Whereas Walkabout Golf is all polygonal graphics just off in the background, and they're cartoony and fake, but they work. But this image in the background that's blurry and low resolution, this looks terrible. It doesn't work. But I recommend it. It's $15 if you can play it. And there's also little games, like you're playing holes. They hide balls, so there's a ball hidden at every hole. So a course is 18 holes. There's a little ball, so it's like a mini game. Like, when you're waiting for your buddy to hit, you can just walk around and try to find the hidden ball.
Oh, that's cool.
And then you add it. So there's all these different colored balls you can pick, like glossy balls, little worlds. Like, I got the pirate ball. And then at each, there's like 8 maps. And at each map, there's the easy version. And then there's the nighttime version, which they have different pin placements. And it's harder. And so there's like riddles and stuff. So I got the pirate sword with the pirate ball at the tourist trap. Anyway, played that game. That was awesome. Space Pirate Trainer is another one that's just a phenomenal shooting game. It's like being
so many good things about this.
Oh, it's just like you're inside an arcade cabinet and you're just playing a shooter, or you're just picking up power-ups, and there's little spaceships flying around and you're just tearing them up. It's one of the best little shooters I've played. Like, it feels incredible. Anyway, there was an update for it, which I missed. It's Space Pirate Trainer DX, and there's a versus mode where you can play against people. So there's another, you're playing against another player on a platform, and the green robots you can't shoot because they're against him. They're his enemies. So anyway, and you just go through waves until someone dies, and it's really fun, really competitive. And then I tried Facebook Worlds. Horizon Worlds, they dropped. The official release date was like a week ago. It's been in beta for months, and this is like their precursor to the metaverse. So yeah, and it's officially out. So before, you had to be in the beta. I think you could download it for free. Like, anybody could download it, but it was technically beta. It's done really. It reminds me of Alt Space. Like, it's the same compelling as talking in Alt Space. The avatars are cool. It just doesn't, like, when you go to a different, they'll have there's a shooting game, an arena game. It's like Rec Room. It takes like 35 or 40 seconds to load from the main hub world, and you find people in there. You can all put your hand in, and you form a party, which is awesome. So you just put your hand in, like, you're about to get excited. 1, 2, 3, Falcons, whatever. And then you go in there. It takes 30 seconds to load. The game is super simple. I don't know. It's just not like. Have y'all tried
missing
it?
The wow factor is what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's like Rec Room, but it's too. I feel like this is going to be the killer app when it's seamless, when it's just really seamless, and they give people the power to create their own worlds. And from what I've read, like, the tools for it are really, really basic. And so they're really creating these really basic worlds, and they need like some of the stuff me and Thomas saw in Rec Room and Alt Space was incredible. Like the fact you can create anything in Alt Space.
Alt Space seems very open source. Like
yeah,
that was the takeaway I got from Alt Space, that it's very customizable if you know what you're doing. And what I got from Facebook Worlds when I did attempt to do it, it seemed very sterile. It seemed very simple. That was the kind of the view that I had of it. Does Mark Zuckerberg greet you in this?
No, there is a what is
robot
cool,
known as Mark Zuckerberg? Is he there?
Well, when you go into, there's about 20 people in the hub world when you load in, and everybody's trying to talk to each other. And there wasn't many kids or anything. It was actually, people were really nice. There's a community, there's a guide in there. So they have a guide in there.
Like a person?
Yeah, he comes up and talks to you. He's like, hey, Cole, how you doing this evening? Is there anything I can help you with? It's a real person. And like, and I'll like ask him,
a real person?
A real person, yeah. But
I wonder if he gets paid.
I know,
right? Think so. I bet so. He works for Facebook.
So he's like Clippy.
Yeah,
but for
that's
pretty world.
That's pretty cool and creepy at the same time.
It was cool and it was creepy, but it was cool because I was like asking him questions and he was like walking me through how to do something on my menu. He told me that this, and this was available. Oh yeah, you should check out this. Oh hey, if you want to talk to this person, it was pretty neat. It was pretty neat.
So I don't know why I just thought of this, but I'm a big South Park guy, and my favorite imitation they've ever done is of Mark Zuckerberg. I don't know if y'all ever seen it. If y'all haven't, y'all need to watch it.
I can imagine.
Just hilarious.
Oh no, I'm thinking of Jeffrey Bezos.
No, that one's funny too. But he's like, you can't mess with my style. You can't. He's just like, it's like they make him like a robot, basically.
Well, I hate to break it to you, Cole, but you're in the metaverse.
Oh, I know.
You're already in it.
We are in it.
This box.
Yep.
We're there.
Speaking of the metaverse, though, AltSpace is owned by Microsoft.
Yeah, and AltSpace is better. I think AltSpace.
You're saying that Microsoft is winning the meta battle.
Well, I would say no. I would say no. Like I would say it's very similar, but AltSpace, the games in AltSpace, I did play with one game, so I was with these random people, and it was like took like 45 seconds to load. Then you get there, no one knows what they're doing because these people are probably like just got it for Christmas. For some reason, a lot of people that have VR and you meet in AltSpace and stuff aren't gamers. It's strange. You would think that there would be more gamers, but like I don't know if you remember, Thomas, when we were talking to those people that night, they weren't gamers at all. Like they were like they're all into all kinds of other stuff. Like
I think a lot of people got VR because they couldn't see people and they wanted that kind of connection still. And I think that's a lot of what VR has become.
And that's what's going to propel it forward, I think, honestly. Like that's going to push it forward. But like so we did this game where you go and grab this frog and you squeeze the trigger and the tongue sticks out and like you're all standing around this pond and you're just eating flies. And I was just like, dude, they're not hitting it right with this.
It ain't Flappy Bird.
So what I'm hearing from you, Cole, is that if you like lots of balls and you like squeezing frogs, get VR. That's what I'm hearing.
That's what I heard.
And you know what? Who doesn't? I do. Look, I'll admit it.
I can tell you, it was weird because like I get in here, the avatars they look like just middle-aged women, and they were just like waving to me, and they didn't know what they're. And I was like waving to them, and I was talking to them. Their mic didn't work, and they were like making these weird things. And then they all walked up to the frogs, and they're all like, it's like me and 3 other middle-aged women. I felt like, and they're just like.
I like how you said earlier. Genuinely, one of the funniest things I think you've ever said is there are no kids in there. Everyone was really nice. That was perfect. That was poetic.
Well, I might have to try at least the mini golf. The mini golf sounds very fun.
I will say this though, my last point. If we were all of us were in Facebook Horizon World, we would have fun. Like we would have a good time. It's better than
Mark Zuckerberg
because there's more stuff for us to do. But anyway,
let's see how it evolves.
We're going to see how it evolves.
It will only get better. The metaverse is just starting. The metaverse will be here for all eternity. So they have plenty of time to make improvements.
Yes. I'm not going to start playing it until it actually injects my brain with ecstasy. So until that point,
I think that's in 2 years.
That's in 2
on
years.
their roadmap for 2 years.
It's on the dev log. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh my gosh. So